There is still an audience for a physical keyboard. It's not the same audience that's asking for the biggest phone available or the maximum number of megapixels in your camera, but there's still a large audience nonetheless. And in today's smartphone marketplace, this audience doesn't have many options. Yes, there are a few niche handsets on the market like the Cosmo Communicator or the FX Tech Pro that do offer physical keyboards, but these aren't really in the same vein as what Blackberry used to offer. What definitely is in the same vein of the Blackberry handsets of old is the Unihertz Titan. The Titan is the spiritual successor to the Blackberry Passport. It's what Coke Zero was to Diet Coke, what Kobe was to Michael Jordan, and what Microsoft was to IBM. A follow-up and hopefully an improvement as well. It has a lot of the same features that the Passport was so uniquely designed for. A 1:1 inch aspect ratio screen and a 3-row backlit keyboard. And nonetheless, a very unusual form factor. All of this was designed with the hope that it would appeal to the Passport audience, for the same reason that the Passport appealed to them. Productivity, that's the key here. People work better with a physical keyboard, and on top of that, what the Passport was a proof of concept that people work better with this strange aspect ratio for a screen. The Passport and the Unihertz Titan hold the distinction of being the only Android phones on the market, at least that I know of, that have the 1:1 inch aspect ratio screen, and it truly is a unique experience. This screen size allows for what I think to be the perfect keyboard size, and that's what this video is about. This video will compare the keyboard typing experience on the Blackberry Passport versus the Unihertz Titan. I'll be comparing the hardware and software experiences of both keyboards, and bear in mind that these two phones are running two different operating systems, with Blackberry OS X on the Passport and Android on the Unihertz Titan. First up in the comparison is tactility, or how the phone feels in the hand. Despite its well-known software issues, I think everyone will agree that the Blackberry Passport is a great phone to hold in your hand. There's much less rows on this Blackberry compared to other Blackberries, as it has such a large form factor. And I'm guessing this was a deliberate decision by RIMS to make sure that the keyboard is maximized for comfort. And comfort is really where the keyboard on the Blackberry Passport excels. The soft touch, rubberized keys have the perfect amount of travel, and the backlit and placement and size of the keys makes typing very quick and brisk. Having owned some of the more recent Blackberries like the Key 1 and the Key 2, I have to say that typing on the Blackberry Passport really takes the cake. The keys are just the perfect size, and the key travel along with the spacing of the keys makes for a great experience. And by virtue of this, you would think that based on visual inspection that the Unihertz Titan would have a very similar typing experience. And I'm here to tell you that I was very surprised that it isn't. Just looking at these two keyboards side to side, you would think that they would look and feel quite similar, but they're actually very different in terms of touch. The Blackberry Passport has a distinctly rubberized, beveled up feel to it, whereas the keys on the Unihertz Titan are much more plastic and hard in nature. Indeed, the little rubberized upward indentation on each one of the Blackberry Passport's keys allows me to keep track of exactly where my fingers are on the keyboard. This is not as intuitive on the Unihertz Titan, as the keys are much more flat. This, on top of much less key travel on the Unihertz Titan's keys, makes for a very different typing experience. Overall, I found typing on the Blackberry Passport much easier at faster speeds. I wouldn't go so far as to say that this difference caused more typing errors on the Unihertz Titan, but overall, in terms of tactile comfort, the Blackberry Passport comes out on top, and by a fairly large margin. Next, we have layout. Here, on visual inspection, the layout of these two keyboards would seem to be quite similar. The key size on the Unihertz Titan is comparable to the Blackberry Passport, and it has a familiar 3-row layout for the letters. It differs in that the Unihertz Titan keys are slightly angled. I actually found this angle to be much more comfortable on the Unihertz Titan compared to the Blackberry Passport, as the slight angle allowed me to keep track of exactly where I was and which row I was in terms of finger placement on the keyboard. Another advantage that the Titan has over the Passport is that it has demarcated alternative button keys. This is because, unlike the Passport, the Unihertz Titan has a fourth row of buttons for caps, switching apps, home screen, back, and alternative buttons. So like other Blackberries with alt buttons, once you depress the alt button, each key will be triggered for its alternative use. And with the alternative key assignment clearly demarcated on each key, this made using the alternative symbols a lot easier than on the Blackberry Passport, as it doesn't require any memorization. Like the Blackberry Passport, if you hold down any of the letter keys on the Titan, it automatically makes a capital letter. Other keyboard shortcuts like depressing the spacebar twice leading to periods also works on the software updates for the Unihertz Titan. Overall, I found the fourth row of keys to be very useful, particularly the back button. So in this department, in terms of layout for the keyboard, the Unihertz Titan comes up on top. Software. Here is where I was the most surprised in terms of the comparison between these very similar phones. The Blackberry keyboard is based on Blackberry 10, which was released over 4 years ago. The Unihertz Titan is using the Kika keyboard, running a very recent version of Android. The Kika keyboard, while having a long storied history, is an adequate keyboard typing experience. It has fairly accurate auto-suggest features, and some of the features found on the Blackberry Passport, like double tapping on the spacebar button for a period, has been transferred over. But despite all of this though, it still doesn't have the charm of the Blackberry keyboard software. For some reason, the swipe up feature on the auto-suggest for the Blackberry Passport really does the trick for me, as it's always been an efficient way of typing quickly. I just found myself being in more of a rhythm with the Blackberry Passport, quite possibly due to familiarity. The good news is that you can actually switch the Kika keyboard on the Unihertz Titan over to the Blackberry software. So in terms of software, the keyboard on the Blackberry clearly comes up on top, so much so that I'll be switching it over on my Unihertz Titan. So there you have it, folks. In the 2 out of 3 categories, the Blackberry Passport comes up on top. It's a more comfortable keyboard to type on, and the software on the Blackberry 10's keyboard is legendary for a good reason. That being said though, I'll still be using the Unihertz Titan for reasons other than the keyboard that I'll be discussing in a forthcoming review. That being said, if you're looking for a pure typing experience, there really is no substitute for what you get on the Blackberry Passport. So what do you think? Are these reasons enough for you to keep holding on to your Passport? Leave a message below, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.